Hey everybody, it's Anna. So today I want to talk a little bit about the phenomenon of the empath, which is something that I'm seeing all over the place now. People talking about being an empath and the struggles of being an empath, and you know, I get very annoyed with this idea that empaths are such fragile, delicate, sensitive creatures that, we go into a room full of liars and we get sick to our stomach, or, I'm feeling assaulted by evil energies. And there's all this idea that if you're an empath, like you're delicate and fragile and you're easily in pain in the world and you have to hide and protect yourself. And the reason I don't like that is because I believe that as a spiritual being, an empowered, creative spiritual being, you should be able to walk anywhere and not experience violation, not experience overwhelm, being able to process and handle any encounter you come in contact with. I believe our souls are in charge and they don't bring things that we can't handle. So we feel like we're not handling something, we can't handle something. It's because there's some kind of lesson or misalignment that we're struggling with. And I realized that every time lately I've been hearing that, I've gotten really annoyed, the idea that empaths are so delicate and fragile. And I realized the reason it bugged me so much, as is so often the case with us in our spiritual journeys, the reason it bothered me is because I was hiding out. I was avoiding situations in which I was going to be encountering people who are not, altogether honest, or who are struggling, that kind of thing. And the reason I didn't go in those places, and I knew that I wasn't being neutral. I knew that I was avoiding these people, and I didn't like these people. That's how my brain interpreted. I don't like these people. I don't want to be around them. But this past week, as I was thinking about that limitation of me really avoiding certain circumstances because I don't like the people, I began realizing that the way I feel around people in the world is actually similar to the way I feel about clients when I'm working with them. Like when I'm with the client, I kind of feel that way. I don't like something about this. I don't like what I'm experiencing. But when I'm working with somebody, when I have that feeling, I just kind of recognize it as a reaction to misalignment. And I see it as kind of a trigger or a little flag saying, hey, we're onto something. So when I feel that way with a client, I just kind of say, and I kind of pursue where that instinct is carrying me. Because what I'm really trying to do is find the source of the misalignment and help them resolve it. Now, what's different about me in the world, then, it's the same feeling in the world as with my client, but with the client, I have this understanding that I can help them. And I have a lot of faith that the two of us together are going to find the resolution, and they're going to feel a lot better, and they're going to be free to be brighter and shinier and happier in the world. But when I'm in the world, I've been operating under a different premise. And the premise is that because these people have not chosen to work with me, I am powerless to do anything about their situation. So when I'm in the world and I'm experiencing misalignment, which makes me feel icky inside, I go, well, I can't do anything about it. I just have to honor the fact that they're misaligned and just go on with my day. And that actually is a pretty huge burden for me sometimes. So the way I've been handling it is I don't go around those people. I hang out with my clients who are a lot of fun to play with and to work with. And I avoid the people who are misaligned because I feel like it costs me something and doesn't get anything, nothing good comes out of it. But then I began to challenge that assumption that just because people are not choosing to work with me, that I can't help them. Because I've begun more and more in my life, been experiencing waves of emotions that I know aren't mine. And as they come on me and I recognize they're not mine, I kind of just say, oh, well, I must be processing somebody's emotion for them. And I just process it and I release it, right? And I began realizing that even though people aren't choosing to work with me, they're not asking for my help, on a human level, on the soul level, we're all connected. So I figure what my soul is doing is contracting with other souls saying, hey, you know what? Anna knows how to process emotion. Are you feeling overloaded? Is your human not able to release this? Well, I'll take some of it and give it to Anna and she'll clear it for you. And I figure, yeah, that makes sense to me. Like on the human level, we look all very individualized, right? But on the spiritual level, we're all connected. And so why not? Why would it not be that some of us who know how to process emotion and struggle and misalignment would not be given that task on a semi-regular basis, almost like being a filter, right? So when I began thinking that way, I realized that when I'm in the world and I'm experiencing misalignment, why would I not just agree that my soul's given it to me for a reason and clear it? And clear it and make a space for this person, whoever this person is, to have a bit of relief, to have a bit of space, a bit of opportunity they didn't have before, because now they're freed up a little from this energy, or maybe they're freed up a lot from this energy, right? We don't really know. And I realized that this is a shift in my work, because I work with clients for a long time, and I work with them enough now that I am sold that healing is possible, that the soul is powerful and wise and intuitive, and it's always going to lead to amazing stuff. So when I work with a client, even if they seem pretty stuck, there's a part of me that's like, no, they're not stuck. We'll find the way forward. I'm very confident about that. And my ego mind is pretty confident about it too. My ego mind has seen enough evidence. It doesn't argue with me anymore about that, right? So now it's almost like my faith journey is strong enough that I can start including work where there isn't any evidence of the effectiveness of my work. So when I'm doing this work, I have no idea whose energy it is. I have no idea what it's accomplishing, and there's no way for me to ever know, right? But my faith tells me that every time I clear these gobs of energy, that there's more space for the soul to come. And I also believe that someone's soul has asked for this, and they did it because that person's soul knew that if there was just a little more space, that soul could get a little bit more of a toehold in that person's life, and they could help them in a new way. So I was raised in the Christian faith, and there's a Christian teaching that says you only need faith the size of a mustard seed to be effective. And that's what it reminds me of. Even if I only create a teeny little space, a person's soul will take advantage of that space. So when I kind of released this idea that, well, my problem was I didn't like people, that's not the problem. The problem was I was in pain around people, and that I could just clear that pain and know that it's making a difference in people's lives. Well, all that sense of fragility, the sense I needed to hide and protect myself, just fell away. And I feel like I stepped into a new place of power in my life as a healer, as an empath, and as a human being. So it was just very exciting for me. And I think that, that's the path we're all on. So we definitely have times when we feel stuck, and we feel fragile, and we feel vulnerable, and we get frustrated, and we can't figure out what to do next. Believe me, I've been doing this for like a month of struggle, right? There are definitely times when that happens, but we don't have to, but I would suggest we remember that every time that happens, there's always a new open space. If we just stick with it, we stick with the struggle, we let ourselves feel like crap, we push ahead, we don't agree to it. Just don't agree to your limitation. Maybe you're limited right now, but that is not where you have to stay. If you'll stay engaged with it, like I have done for the last month, suddenly it all breaks open and you see it, and you claim a new space of power. And that is important for you and for the world, because every time one of us gets stronger and freer, the whole world reverberates with that power. So if you are an empath who feels very violated and exhausted, and I'm not saying you don't feel that way, but don't make that the virtue. The virtue is not that you get beat up, or that you feel violated, or that you feel like you're weak in the world. That is not your virtue. Your sensitivity is not the virtue. It is how your sensitivity leads you to the work. And the work will set you free and everyone around you. I hope that's helpful to you sensitive souls out there. See you next time. Bye.